Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've ever felt like your schedule is just way too packed to make a real, meaningful change to your health, well, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving straight into the hard science of 30-day fitness challenges, and we're going to completely dismantle that "I don't have time to work out" excuse once and for all. We're breaking down exactly what happens to your physiology in just 1 month, and how you can trigger some absolutely massive results without spending hours chained to a treadmill. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's kick things off with a totally mind-blowing number from a massive study out of the Norwegian University of Science and Technology. That number is 30. Yep, 30. The research definitively shows that just 30 minutes of high-intensity exercise a week is enough to completely transform your health. Honestly, that shatters the old-school belief that you have to grind it out at the gym for 5 hours a week just to see any real benefits. The secret here, it's not about how long you work out, it's about how hard you push yourself during those minutes.
And when you break that 30 minutes down into a daily habit, the math gets really interesting. We are talking about merely 4.5 minutes of breathless effort a day. Just 4.5 minutes. If you push your heart rate up, to that point where you can speak in short sentences, but you definitely can't sing along to your playlist, you improve your cardiovascular fitness so much that you reduce your risk of over 30 lifestyle diseases. Plus, you cut your risk of premature death by an astonishing 40 to 50%. I mean, in the time it takes to brew a pot of coffee, you are literally winding back your biological clock.
So, the crucial takeaway here is that time is no longer a barrier. And that brings us right into section 1, the 30-day reality check. What actually changes? If we're going to use these micro-commitments, we need to completely manage our expectations about what a 30-day window can actually do to your body.
Based on some really cool data compiled by the experts at BetterMe, there is a stark contrast between realistic, functional gains and the aesthetic myths we see online. So what will change? Well, your strength is going to jump by 10 to 30%, your insulin sensitivity improves, and your form gets incredibly sharp. But what won't change? You aren't going to see massive muscle growth or magically wake up with an overnight six-pack, unless you bought a six-pack at the grocery store, of course. Those aesthetic transformations usually take more like 8 to 16 weeks. But those invisible internal changes, those happen immediately.
Just beneath your skin, these incredible biological milestones are happening right from the start. From days 1 to 14, your nervous system is literally rewiring itself, learning to fire your muscles more efficiently. It's why you feel stronger almost right away. Then, as you hit days 10 to 30, metabolic changes kick in. Your cells improve how they use oxygen, and your enzyme activity just spikes. And finally, around days 14 to 30, the structural adaptations start happening. Your connective tissues physically strengthen, and even your bone density starts to respond. You are basically building the ultimate physical foundation.
Now, to drive those incredible adaptations without wasting a single second, let's jump to section 2, the science of progress. Fitness jargon, busted. We're going to look at how to properly structure our limited time using the highly effective Fitness CF protocols.
First up on the jargon-busting list is AMRAP. That stands for as many rounds as possible. This is a fantastic interval format to really push your endurance and your work capacity by simply racing the clock. Basically, you pick a short circuit of exercises and just keep cycling through them for, say, 8 minutes straight. You only rest when you absolutely have to. It completely forces your body to adapt to sustained, breathless effort.
Next up is EMOM, which means every minute on the minute. In this setup, you perform a set number of repetitions at the very start of a minute. And here's the fun part. Whatever time is left over in that minute, that's your rest. So if it takes you 20 seconds to do the work, you get 40 seconds to recover. It's awesome because it builds power and forces you to pace your effort, making every single minute highly efficient and totally predictable.
But listen, the absolute key to not stalling out, really the secret sauce of all fitness, is progressive overload. See, your body is a highly adaptable machine. If you do the exact same 5-minute workout every single day, your body just gets used to it and stops changing. You've got to constantly challenge it just a little bit more. That could be adding an extra repetition, reducing your rest time, or just perfecting your form. Okay, we know the science, so let's put it into action. Welcome to Section 3, Designing Your 30-Day Plan, the actionable blueprint. We are going to build a mix-and-match, equipment-free routine that you can literally do right in your living room. But before we map out your week, I need you to remember this golden rule from Fitness CF: consistency over intensity. Seriously, forming a sustainable daily habit is way more important than destroying yourself in a single hour-long workout and then being too sore to get off the couch for a week. The goal here is to pave a new neural pathway in your brain so that fitness just becomes automatic. To put this into practice, a classic UT Rec Sports 4-day split is incredibly effective. It's structured beautifully. Days 1 and 4, you focus on your upper body using simple movements like push-ups and table rows. Then, days 2 and 5 are all about the lower body, so think bodyweight squats and glute bridges. And crucially, days 3, 6, and 7 are reserved for active recovery. That means going for a brisk walk or doing some light mobility work. This setup ensures you hit all your major muscle groups while actively safeguarding those vital recovery days. Because remember, rest is when the actual muscle repair and growth happens.
Now, you can also bolt on a daily micro-commitment to this routine. A great example is the Nourish Move Love 30-Day Ab Challenge. It's brilliant. It uses just 5 to 15 minutes a day to target your deep core muscles, specifically the transverse abdominis. And hey, this isn't just about looking good in a swimsuit. It's about functional fitness. It builds the core stability you actually need to carry heavy groceries or chase your kids around without throwing out your back.
So, pulling it all together, your 30-day journey is basically a clear 4-step progression. In week 1, your first step is mastering the fundamental movements with basic intervals. Focus entirely on your form. In week 2, step 2, you push your endurance by introducing those AMRAPs we talked about. By week 3, step 3, you're building power and pacing with EMOMs. And finally, in week 4, step 4, is where you apply that progressive overload. You add that extra rep or shave down that rest time to safely overload the muscles and force them to grow stronger.
All right, so you absolutely crushed the 30 days. You've rewired your nervous system, boosted your metabolism, and strengthened your connective tissues. But what happens on day 31? Well, that brings us to section 4, beyond 30 days, extending your fitness journey.
Those first 30 days, they're just the launch pad. To make this a lifelong habit, you have to keep your highly adaptable body guessing. You do this by swapping in new, more challenging exercise variations, like finally moving from a knee push-up to a full, strict push-up. You change up your training methodologies, and most importantly, you set concrete, measurable performance goals. Maybe your goal is doing 10 unbroken push-ups or running your very first 5K without stopping to walk.
The science is undeniably clear here. Time is just an illusion when it comes to fitness. It literally only takes a handful of minutes of true, breathless effort to trigger a massive biological transformation, one that protects your heart, sharpens your mind, and extends your life. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. You have 10 minutes today. What's your next move right now?